What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today, this is a little bit of a surprise mock draft video. There's a little bit of A, a little bit of B as to why you're seeing this. A little bit of A is, well, right now, the biggest thing going on in the football world is Deshaun Watson has handed in his transfer request to get moved on from the Houston Texans. That, compiled with Matt Stafford, pretty much confirmed not returning to Detroit. I feel like that gives us a chance here to get weird with a mock draft. You know, it's not quite peak mock draft season yet. It's like shit postseason. So, you know, things can get weird. You can afford to get weird as Senior Bowl is going on right now in the background. So that is what we're going to do here today. If you like more mock drafts, you like more draft content, you like my opinion on the draft, check out my Patreon. So far, we're up to, I think I just posted yesterday, my Miami Dolphins mock draft 1.0. There's going to be exclusive Patreon mock drafts dropping there. My positional rankings are going to be dropping, starting with the quarterbacks this weekend. So if you do like my draft stuff, over on Patreon is a great way to support it and get access to that content, as well as my flashback franchise rosters, the Discord, the exclusive C4 Discord, and everything else in between. We have about almost 20 brand new Patreons in the last week. I very much appreciate it, and hopefully those guys will give a stellar review that my Patreon is worth it to go above and beyond to support my channel. The little bit of B. If you follow my Instagram, plugging everything here today, my Instagram, you get some behind the scenes. I think I posted like videos of me and my kids snowboarding and sledding the other day. But also in the mornings, I upload thumbnails of what videos to come. So if you want to get a little bit of a teaser as to what you're going to be seeing on the channel, I always post something there on my Instagram. And today I posted the thumbnail for our newest college football revamp rebuild with the Coastal Carolina the Blue Chickens. We're calling them the Blue Chickens. And unfortunately, I had some issues with the emulator. I had to reinstall the emulator. I just got super far behind, and there was just no way that I could finish it. Like, if I recorded, it would have been up at like 8 o'clock. That's not a good time to upload videos on YouTube. So it will be out tomorrow, but check out and follow my brand new Instagram for a lot more C4 content. But today, we're doing a mock draft 2 minutes in. We're just going to start here with Trevor Lawrence going to the Jags, because that's what's going to happen. So here's where it's going to get weird. Let's have some fun. Deshaun Watson wants to go. He wants to leave Houston. And right now, looks like his preferred destination is either the Jets or Miami. Given the states of both franchises, for this mock draft, we'll take and follow very much in the video we did yesterday of Deshaun Watson going to the Jets, and it was a rebuild. Go check it out if you missed it. We will have the Houston Texans trading Deshaun Watson to the New York Jets. It would cost them both of their first-round picks. They have 2 first-round picks next year. I think it'd cost one of those. And like that is a perfect spot if you are the Jets, because you're trading the farm, yes, but you still are going to be able to, like, it's very small. A lot of times you make a blockbuster trade like this, it's going to be multiple years your drafts are effective. But because they handled the Jamal Adams situation so well, yeah, you're trading 2 firsts for a guy that's pretty much better than any quarterback, not named Trevor Lawrence, for sure, in this draft class. You're still going to have a first-round pick next year. So I have the Jets making this trade. I think someone like Miami might be a little bit more reluctant. And I think Miami would be trying to probably weigh like, hey, we'll give you Tua. And if I'm Houston and seeing the guy they just brought in from the Ravens, like the Ravens wide receiver coach, I'm going to make the assumption that they want Justin Fields. You bring in a guy that's worked with Lamar Jackson, been on offenses with Lamar Jackson, been on offenses with Josh Allen. I think he was in Buffalo for a little bit. Like that gives you like an idea of the style of quarterback. Personally, I do not have Justin Fields as my quarterback too, but Houston just seems like the worst ran team in the NFL, and they would do all this to get a guy that I think is a little bit uncertain in terms of a draft player in Justin Fields. But that's where we have Houston going at pick 2. Personally, if I'm Houston, I'm getting Zach Wilson, but I mean, Justin Fields could be amazing, and I'm just trying to make the decision based upon their head coaching hire. And I think if the head coaching hire leads you to what style of quarterback they may be inclined to get, that very much fits the prototype and archetype of Justin Fields. So at pick 3, Miami losing out on the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. All right, Tua is your quarterback. How do you help Tua? Well, we're going to get the guy that's built like a high schooler, but just absolutely dominated the draft the last year. Absolutely going to dominate the offseason. Didn't weigh in, which is a little bit shady, but Miami is coaching him in the Senior Bowl. They're going to get a first-hand look. You have the chemistry between him and Tua. He's going to come in, be wide receiver 2 as a rookie with Devontae Parker on one side. It's a home run. There is some validity to say, well, maybe they like Jamar Chase, but I just think they're going to be so fresh, so hands-on with what they can see in Devontae Smith. They're going to be just too confident that's their guy. You have Tua there, which also helps him be that guy. You also have the unknown of Jamar Chase took a whole year off football. Let's go with the for sure thing, and they get Devontae Smith. Pick 4, the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are really in a tough spot because of Arthur Smith. What are they doing at quarterback? My gut right now, and for how I'm going to approach this mock, is they keep Matt Ryan. I feel like Arthur Smith worked well with a veteran and Ryan Tannehill, not the same, obviously a little bit different of age, but I think Arthur Smith is going to be like, we can win with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. We can win with the old guard. So if that's where they're going, their next big need is edge rusher. Is there an edge rusher worth of pick 4? Probably not. But is there an edge rusher whose ceiling is worth of pick 4? Like, I'm pretty sure I'd like Jalen Phillips more than I like Gregory Rousseau right now. That doesn't mean that Gregory Rousseau still isn't the better overall prospect because of his very high ceiling. So I'm going to have Atlanta get Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher, and they're going to try and win with Matt Ryan. And Rousseau, plug and play, rotational guy, and I think sooner or later in his rookie season, he will be an every down starter. Pick 5, Bengals. This is just, all right, they get Sewell, plug and play, protect Joe Burrow. Pick 6, the Philadelphia Eagles are on the clock. And, there is a chance they get Kyle Pitts. As a Gator fan, he's from Philly. A lot of it makes sense. He's really more of a wide receiver than he's a tight end. Looks like Zach Ertz is not coming back to Philadelphia. I wouldn't hate that pick as much as some people would be like, why did they go get tight end? It does make sense from a schematic standpoint. However, Jamar Chase is so good. He's can't miss. Like, Jamar Chase, if he has 8 injuries and isn't even at half as good as people think he's going to be, he's still the best wide receiver on the Philadelphia Eagles. So Jamar Chase to Philly at 6, that is my dream pick. That is the pick that I think needs to happen. Pick 7, the Detroit Lions. We talked about at the top. Matt Stafford. The Matt Stafford trade will be reflected a little bit later. You're Detroit, you're laughing. You're like, all right, Zach Wilson. I don't even think they would have to trade up. If Zach Wilson slips here, they might have to trade up to prevent other teams leapfrogging them. But I don't think you have to worry about Cincy or, maybe Philly, anything's possible. But, hey, these guys drafting Zach Wilson, and I think that is a home run for the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell, new era there, and you get yourself a brand new quarterback that is insanely talented, insanely fun to watch. He's like a less hyped, but I think he's going to be what a lot of people thought Johnny Manziel might be in the NFL. Pick 8. I'm always going to make this pick, plug and play for me. If I'm a Panther fan, you have Teddy Bridgewater as like a Band-Aid, a stopgap quarterback. Have Trey Lance redshirt while you still have Joe Brady in the building. And then in his sophomore year, Trey Lance hits the ground running as your new starter. That's easy pick. Denver at pick 9. They could be intrigued at reaching for Mac Jones. As much as I am pro and personally Kyle Trask is better than Mac Jones, I need to just accept Kyle Trask is not going in the first round. If he does go in the first round, I'll be shocked. So if I'm Denver here, we're like, all right, I don't know what they're going to do for the quarterback situation. There's clearly no quarterbacks available that they should get. So the question for me becomes, what the hell's going on with Von Miller? Has the off the field now? He's very expensive. He's coming off an injury. Is Von Miller going to be on the Denver Broncos roster starting next year? Because if not, you might need an edge rusher. And if I'm here looking for an edge rusher, I'm like, okay, there's not much there. Micah Parsons, he's not really an edge rusher at all. He's a linebacker. He's a good fit. I think Vic Fangio would absolutely love someone like Micah Parsons. But now there's a lot of reports that his work ethic and all that stuff's kind of down in the pits a little bit. I don't know, honestly. You need a quarterback. Well, if not, we'll just have him get the best blue chip player, and that's Patrick Surtain. Baller of a corner, 5-star recruit, 5-star player in all of college. There's an outside corner because, you need another one of those. Pick 10, Dallas, a little bit upset, but they're like, all right, we'll get the next best corner in Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech because Dallas, I think, improving the secondary should be the biggest thing. Obviously, making the assumption that Dak Prescott is going to be their quarterback at the beginning of next season. I think there's also some ability. Dallas could look at tackle here, but I think given the board, given the corner versus tackle market, I think they'll be able to get a really solid tackle in the second round that can contribute as a rookie. Pick 11. The New York Giants. I'm looking at the Giants. I think they'll get Micah Parsons. What do you need? A linebacker, an edge? He's kind of all that weirdly balled up into one play. He's a linebacker. He's not Isaiah Simmons level of what do you play on defense? And Isaiah Simmons says yes. But Micah Parsons is an incredibly versatile player. I think for sure you're going to get a guy that could sub in either next to Blake Martinez or sub in as an edge rusher. He just does everything. And you figure it out and you develop him and figure out what he's at a crossroads. Like, I think right now he's more of a middle linebacker than he is an edge rusher. For sure. I think I almost weigh that because he's sideline ability is his best ability. And you don't always want him getting caught up in the field trying to rush the passer. But he is an insanely high ceiling to like be molded into whatever really the Giants want him to be. And I feel like that is very, very valuable for a team that just needs help in the middle of their defense. Pick 12, we have the San Francisco 49ers. And I think when you're the 49ers, you're looking at corner. You're looking at interior on the offensive line. Maybe a tackle. And I feel like if you're the 49ers, you look at the corner market right now, J.C. Horn, 12. I honestly think if I'm the Niners, I would draft Rashawn Slater. At this point, Slater for me is a guard. And it's not, he can't play tackle. I just think right away for how quick, how agile, how finesse he is, he'd be a great guard for them. And then you also now have a guy that long-term could kick over to tackle because Trent Williams is not, spry young chicken anymore. Trent Williams is getting a little long in the tooth. So with Rashawn Slater, you're going to get a guy that from his arm length, he can go in inside and be a guard. Be a very good guard. Super uber athlete. And then if Trent Williams retires, whenever that happens, you still got a guy in Rashawn Slater that's like, oh shit, let's kick him out the tackle. This guy can play tackle for us. Have him develop, have him work as a tackle. Just a very valuable lineman for the San Francisco 49ers. Even though I do think corner's a bigger need, the value is improving the O-line there with Slater. Pick 13. I think the absolute same thing can be said here for the Chargers. I look at the Chargers. They just need to go best lineman available. For me, I have Cosme as my next tackle available on the board. Protect Justin Herbert, please and thank you. The Minnesota Vikings at pick 14. I think they got to go defensive line. I'm going to have them get Christian Barmore from Alabama. Help out Daniel Hunter very much on that defensive line. And Barmore is good at everything. He's just, ceiling. I don't even know what, I don't know if I can quantify ceiling. I think his floor is like, you're getting John Allen, Deron Payne from the Washington football team. That is very much an improved on the interior D-line there for the Minnesota Vikings. Which I think they also could look at the interior on the offensive line. Vera Tucker could make some sense. Wyatt Davis is good, but I think improving the defense for how bad that defense was, let's fix that. And then we have another plug-and-play pick. I mean, maybe not as plug-and-play as you'd think because they could be very intrigued in Jalen Waddle. I just feel like Kyle Pitts he's a Patriot pick. Josh McDaniels would be like, get me this guy. I'll make him a wide receiver, and I'm going to try to make him Calvin Johnson 2.0 or something like that. That's a huge gift for the Patriots, who still have a lot of questions at the quarterback spot. Pick 16, we have the Arizona Cardinals. I think I'm the Cardinals. Yeah, that's about fair value. Bring in J.C. Horn. I think he's going to mesh very, very well with Budda Baker. Two aggressive alphas back there in the secondary. And, you get some cover because Patrick Peterson is sadly not the Patrick Peterson of a previous year. Pick 17, we have the Raiders. Just get them best edge rusher. They get Kwity Paye, who unfortunately is going to be one of the guys that are a victim to there being no NFL Combine this year because he was absolutely going to rock the house. But I'm sure once his pro day numbers come out, everyone's going to be like, he's Rashawn Gary 2.0. And then you're the Raiders, pretty much have to go best edge rusher available. And unless I think Phillips and Paye are pretty much in the same tier, but athletically speaking, you probably can do a little bit more with Kwity Paye. Pick 18. It'd be awesome, I think, given the fact that they absolutely could double dip at wide receiver for Miami. But I think at this point here, you're more so looking at linebacker, and we'll have him get Zaven Collins, just a very, very versatile player that I'm absolutely confident that Brian Flores will be able to develop, will be able to maximize in that multiple front. I do think as well, it's a great learning environment for have him maybe be an understudy a little bit to Kyle Van Noy, because the same level of versatility is I think what you're going to get for Zaven Collins in terms of a player and prospect, and that is a good fit to help continue to maintain the Dolphins' status as a elite defense. Pick 19, we have Washington football team. Here will be my first surprise pick. I think Darisaw would probably be, if I was them, I'd go Darisaw. However, we all know Washington is pretty much Alabama. They just draft all the Alabama players. They need a quarterback. As much as we would like to put, stock into Heineke and whatever happened in the playoffs, I think they see this as a jump-off point of we need to get a quarterback. I don't know if they should be in on any of these big quarterback trades and offer an absurd amount because they're Washington. It's what they do. But I think given this point, we'll have them get Mac Jones at pick 19 to get their guy that has I'm not a huge Mac Jones fan, but I can admit he has a very high floor, and I think he's better than any quarterback they have on the roster right now. And that's an upgrade. That is an upgrade there for Washington. And then the second round, try to fix out the offensive line a little bit. Pick 20 with the Chicago Bears. And I think the Bears very much need a quarterback, but they're like, okay, got absolutely nothing. So from here, if I'm Chicago, I'm like, all right, what do we got on the offensive line? Could use a tackle. Best tackle, Darisaw, very well could be BPA. Interior line, Wyatt Davis, Vera Tucker continue to build up, especially on that right-hand side. Or you could look maybe at this guy, Jalen Waddle. That's where I would go. I think there is some value on the offensive line, but there's going to be still that value in the second round, I think. Get a playmaker because it looks like Allen Robinson's leaving. And if Allen Robinson's leaving, you need a guy that can be a wide receiver one, and don't put all your eggs into the Darnell Mooney basket. Jalen Waddle, Mooney, you get Anthony Miller. You got some guys there. You can recoup. You can survive post Allen Robinson. You're not going to get your quarterback here, unfortunately. So get the best player available that can help out your offense next year, and that is Jalen Waddle. Pick 21. We have the Colts, and this is where we make the second trade. I think the Colts are going to be the team that trades for Matt Stafford. So for this, we are going to have them give up their first. It'd be Matt Stafford's a weird one because what is Matt Stafford's value actually going to finish up as in terms of a trade? Are you gonna get multiple firsts? You're definitely getting a first. The conversation is starting with a first round pick. I think the Colts would pay that because you're still gonna get at least 2, maybe 3 still prime Matt Stafford years. So we're gonna have that trade can happen. Matt Stafford goes to the Colts. Pick 21, Detroit back on the board. They already got Zach Wilson. They're laughing. Now this is where it gets a little bit tough because I think if you're the Detroit Lions, you're like, well, are we gonna re-sign Kenny Galladay? I absolutely think you should re-sign Kenny Galladay. I don't think they're in cap hell. They should be able to. I'm going to make the assumption that they do re-sign Kenny Galladay. So that kind of kicks wide receiver down a little bit because, Bateman, Moore, Kadarius Toney, all three of these guys, I think more so Toney I would have as a first-round pick. So then you move on to the secondary needs. I think linebacker is definitely something that's valid. So we're going to have them get Owosu Koroma, the linebacker from Notre Dame, traditional middle linebacker in today's NFL, sideline to sideline, kind of got that safety build, but he's very, very good at playmaker. Every time I watched Notre Dame play, I felt like he was getting interception, forced fumbles, something like that. So improve your linebacking core, and I'm making this pick under the assumption that Kenny Galladay is returning. Pick 22, we have the Tennessee Titans. I think for the Titans, edge rusher, and they're going to get Joe Tsai. I think they pretty much threw whatever they could to find someone on the other side of Harold Landry. We saw it with Vic Beasley. We saw it with the Jadeveon Clowney signing. Didn't work. Get a Tsai. I think he is the best available on the board right now. But speaking of edge rushers, Houston. At this point, they could go edge. I think Ojulari could make a lot of sense for the Houston Texans to improve that defense. But there's so many other needs, especially now if you have Justin Fields. Don't make the same mistake you did with Deshaun Watson on failing to build an even halfway decent offensive line, right? So you got the tackles. You hope Titus Howard, I don't know, would he play a little bit of guard tackle? Well, I'm going to assume, just make an assumption here. You have Tunsil at left tackle, Howard at right tackle. Everything else is fair game. So I think at this point, I think I would go Wyatt Davis. Get a guy that I think is day one plug-and-play starter at right guard. Could be left guard, either or. I think, Max Sharping is one of your guys. I actually kind of liked him when he was coming out of Northern Illinois. But I think you just go best player available on the offensive line. Could be Vera Tucker because he has more versatility. He's played some tackle, played some guard. But I just think if you're going for a pure interior lineman, Wyatt Davis is my pick. Just if Justin Fields is your guy, don't fail him. Don't make the exact same mistakes you made with Deshaun Watson. Pick 24, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think for the Steelers, they're very much, I think Ben Roethlisberger's coming back. They could go running back here if they're not super content with, what's his contract? I don't even know what James Conner's contract is. Either way, I'm having them grab a tackle, and I'm going to have them get Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech. I think he's plug and play at right tackle. 25, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think when you're the Jags, it again comes down to value, and I think you get your safety net in Pat Freiermuth. They could go offensive line as well, but I think if I'm Urban Meyer, I'm like, all right, we can hopefully salvage, the Norwell. We can hopefully salvage and develop Cam Robinson, who's a high draft pick on the offensive line. But what we don't have is really a tight end, and Freiermuth can be that long-term safety net option for Trevor Lawrence. Pick 26, the Cleveland Browns. I think if you're the Browns here, you're now like, all right, probably got to go on the defense, right? Probably, I mean, you could go wide receiver because it seems like every year, will they, won't they trade Odell Beckham Jr.? But I think if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm looking, you look at linebacker Nick Bolton, makes some sense. He's a fringe first rounder, big time hitter, SEC production. I think you look in the secondary, you're like, all right, well, we got an outside corner in Denzel Ward, but what else do we have? And I think also absolutely need a safety. So I think if I'm 26, It's a tough one from the Cleveland Browns. Because they got free agents, right? I think if I'm the Browns, I'm almost like, let's go BPA. And BPA for the Browns is Jalen Phillips at edge rusher. You had the other dude from Miami. He used to be at Miami. I can't remember his name right now. Posed for Myles Garrett. He's old, though. He played well. But, get a youth guy. Get a guy that long-term can be your tag team partner, if you will. You'll throw a wrestling term in there with Myles Garrett. And they just go BPA with Jalen Phillips. I think linebacker would be where I go with. But with the Lions here getting Koromoa, I think just go BPA on the defensive side of the ball. Jalen Phillips already would be an instant, healthy addition to that edge rush rotation, and long-term will be the starter on the other side of Myles Garrett. Pick 27, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Well, I think also could be in board for an edge rusher after Judon's like, I want $80 million. You look at here, though, I think they need more playmakers, man. I'm going to have them get Kadarius Toney. I think Kadarius Toney, you line up in the slot, he's just going to be, I love that match. Kadarius Toney, one of his underrated things too with Florida, he's like keeping plays alive, going off script. And I think off script is a huge, huge factor for Baltimore Raven wide receivers because Lamar Jackson, goes off script a lot of times. So I think Kadarius Toney would be a massive gift for Baltimore at that wide receiver core. Him and Hollywood Brown long-term, very intriguing with the great set of tight ends they have. 28, we have the New Orleans Saints. And with Saints, well, they need quarterback. Don't know if they're going to get I actually think Kyle Trask could be interesting in the Saints. I still maintain that if Philadelphia's open to trading Jalen Hurts, it's not going to cost you your first. Just give us a second, and you have Jalen Hurts as your long-term quarterback. But outside of that for the Saints, I think they could use corner. They could use a linebacker. And at this point, I think I would, there's not much there at linebacker. I don't love, I guess we'll go Nick Bolton in the first round. I don't love Nick Bolton as like a lock to go in the first round, but really when you look at the Saints' needs here, Nick Bolton is a top 50 linebacker, top 50 prospect. Get better at the linebacker level. I think I would almost argue, let's see if we can get like a Rondale Moore, Terrence Marshall, wide receiver, Rashad Bateman potentially, but linebacker helps out their defense a little bit, and that's where we'll go. 29, we have the Green Bay Packers, and I think if you're Green Bay, they're another team that's like, all right, how are we going to piss off Aaron Rodgers to try to spark another MVP-esque season? But when you're Green Bay, you look at really, was it the wide receiver? I mean, Kevin King, man. Kevin King. I apologize if you're bringing that name up right now, if you're a Packer fan. That's probably still... I just think at this point, let's just get best wide receiver available. We'll get Rashad Bateman, help out Aaron Rodgers. He can be most likely wide receiver 3 at worst next season for the Green Bay Packers. Just a very good wide receiver from a sense of there's no real weakness. He's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, and I think he can be a productive playmaker with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love in the future, potentially, if they don't trade him. Pick 30, we have the Buffalo Bills. I think if I'm the Bills, I like this pick. Sean Wade, slot corner, plug and play him at slot right away. That is the value. He is going to be very good on that defense. Tampa at 31. Wow, this website assumes Tampa's not winning the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay. I think they need to get younger at edge rusher, and they're going to go laughing. Azeez Ojulari, there you go, because most likely Shaq Barrett's hit free agency, going to cash out. He needs a replacement, and Ojulari, I think, very well by the end of training camp. If there even is a training camp, goddamn COVID, could be a day one rookie starter there for the Bucks on a very good elite defense. I think Todd Bowles could maximize his development. And then finishing up the first round at pick 32, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, where they could get pillaged in terms of like who can they bring back at wide receiver, right? Sammy Watkins could bounce. They're going to lose a lot of their depth. They're pretty much going to have Tyreek Hill coming back and McCole Hardman. I think if I'm Kansas City, though, I'm looking at, they had like a revolving door on the offensive line, right? You're looking at the guys that are available here, but a little bit of revolving door on the O-line. And you got to get some stability, and I think I would just finish up with Vera Tucker. Bring some versatility, legitimate guard, A lot of scouts have him as a bona fide, absolutely not making it out of the first round type player. So again, reap the rewards of just different needs going above them, and they get a bona fide guy that I think could come in and be their left guard, because you're going to get Tardif back from COVID most likely, and he's a solid right guard. So left guard, Vera Tucker, there you go. You fix the O-line. You not even fix it. The offensive line's not that bad, even though it's going to be looking pretty bad here in the Super Bowl because no Eric Fisher, no Mitchell Schwartz, it looks like. But fully healthy Kansas City offensive line, this is very much a rich get richer type situation. And that is how we finish out the mock draft. So let me know what you guys feel about this one. Getting a little bit weird. Stafford getting traded to the Colts. Deshaun Watson getting traded to the Jets. We had Mac Jones going to Washington. Some different trades here. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. As always, if you like seeing mock draft, you like seeing more draft content, easiest way to get all access to that is checking out my Discord, which is in the video description below. And like and subscribe. It's your first time stopping by. We'll be back tomorrow with a Coastal Carolina college football revamped rebuild. And I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching, and peace out.